Hey folks, Valentin the Mad here, and today we'll be looking at the response mechanics in Mortal Kombat 1. The key focus in this video is not so much the finishers, but rather the responses mid-fight. The fatalities are great and some are actually very quite nasty, but they are essentially the gore-soaked cherry on top. What I want to discuss in this video are the responses mid-combat, what you'll be seeing most of the time as you play. So as for the body damage part of it, for the face you have a bunch of variations of scratches and bruises, and there's actually a seriously good variety of those. What you have is not a generic overlay per character, but rather a bunch of bruise and scratch variations, and you just have different ones activate in the combat each time. The result is a very nice variety of possible responses. As for the rest though, the response seems to be just blood. You will very much have the characters get progressively messed up and they certainly won't look clean after 3 rounds, but blood is all there will be. There is no damage to clothes, to the various accessories, and so on. Johnny Cage is a good, clear example. As you can see, the clothes are quite bloodied, but the sunglasses, the watch are intact and there are no tears anywhere on the clothes. So, I do think that broken variations for stuff like that would be quite nice, but what the game is really asking for is motivator damage. And I don't mean taking a chunk out on every single hit. Eventually, you don't want to end up with 2 meaty skeletons beating each other up on round 3, but it can definitely be balanced to deliver something visceral yet still reasonable. Like how many hits to the same area would be needed to remove a chunk and how much of it would actually be removed. And before any layer even gets removed, you could have a more superficial response, like the broken accessories and the blood that we already do have. I do believe actually that sooner or later it will be in. Mortal Kombat is a series with a heavy focus on gore and the feature of motivator damage is becoming more common now, so I believe it is only a matter of time. I should note that you will have blood from the enemy get splashed on your character as well. You can see it clearly if you are fighting someone with a different blood color. You have the X-ray attacks too. For the most part, they will result in just more blood on the character, there is no real visual damage, with just one exception that I saw. In the case of Smoke, there is a modeled wound for one of the hits. But it doesn't last for the rest of the fight itself. After the sequence ends, you just get blood in the area without the nice modeled wound. Another way to support the channel is the Bilakonenka artwork store. Not a sponsorship, the artist is my mom and I'm handling the fulfillment. The featured painting in this video, as you can see, is of one of my favorite things. We have it on prints as well as mugs, with the latter being kind of a coffeeception. So, you can get something directly from me, I'll personally be packing and shipping it, and that is very much a way to support the channel. Links are in the description. As for the blood spilling, it is seriously good. You will see the environments get real blooded in combat, but I had to test in practice mode just to see how good it really is, and man, it is impressive. The patterns I would say look exceptionally good, it looks great with the particle effect and all of it stays for the entire fight, so you just have it all pile up. Of course, the game does have the benefit of having the spilling be only on the floor, as far as I saw, with a pretty limited surface area, but within that there is very little room for improvement that I can see. So I would say with what they're doing, they've gone above and beyond. As for the animations, it is mostly more of the same. So you have the attack animation, the response for it, all of the scripted stuff is very well animated, and yeah, that is about it. Now, just my thoughts, I don't think it's at all likely to happen in this series, but I do wonder how the combat would feel if it was more physics based. if instead of the rigid attack animation, response animation for it, you would have something more responsive to physics. Not full-blown Xanima, but more physics in the hits and the responses for them, perhaps even some factor of an active ragdoll too. But as I mentioned, this one, unlike the motivator damage, I think will not be happening in this series. It would probably change the way the combat feels, and that is pretty cemented at this point. In conclusion, during combat, the body damage is messier than what I remember from the previous two installments. Still leaves a lot to be desired, but characters don't look as clean as they did. As for the blood spilling, it is very good. Great patterns, very accurate to the particle effect, and it all piles up very nicely. Seriously, exceptional stuff. And the animations are basically more of the same, with very nice, creative and quite messy fatalities. So yeah, it is kind of given that I can recommend this for a good experience. If you enjoy this kind of a gameplay, getting it I think is a no-brainer. That is it for today. Do let me know how you feel in the comment section, and subscribe for more content coming really soon. Until next time.